Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Kainde, Joseph, Chipo, Uduak, Isiaka, Ainde. And good evening to our speaker, Oluwatosin Adeosun. So you are all welcome to another very interesting session. And from what I have read and from what I have solved from the person that is going to speak, I will say this one is going to be a banger. It's going to be massive. So I believe all of us, we are ready for this session. I believe you have your writing materials. I pray that it's going to be a good one, and I hope you're not going to have any network glitches or issues. And then as we start the training, let me say, Chipo, you are going to give us, you're going to give us like a summary at the end of this session. So I just want you to be ready. You're giving us a session after Mr. Oluwatosin is done. And then we are equally going to have a question and answer session. Before we start, I'm going to introduce the speaker, after which I'll allow Mr. Chinedu to do a welcoming address before we leave the floor for him. The person that is going to take us on this wonderful session is Oluwatosin Adeosun. Oluwatosin is a seasoned professional with over 12 years experience in production and operations management, grounded in a background in electronics engineering. His career spans role from technical operator to area production manager, giving him depth or deep expertise in process optimization and operational efficiency. In 2021, he transitioned into human resource management, bringing a unique professional perspective to the field. He holds certifications including PHRI, Institutional Leadership Facilitator, Ken Blanchard, USA, and Insights in Discovery Practitioner, UK. With his blend of technical and HR expertise, Oluwatosin is well positioned to drive impactful human capital development. And from the topic we are going to be treating today, the topic says, building leadership skills that drive operational success. We are all facility managers. Majority of us are just coming up, and some of us are already grounded. So Oluwatosin is grounded in FM, and he's going to take us on how we can build leadership skills as we carry on with our processes in facility management operations. So before we start, I'm going to be welcoming Mr. Chinedu Nwachukwu to give us a welcoming note before Mr. Oluwatosin takes the floor. Mr. Chinedu, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Obi. Thank you, Tosin. I actually told Obi to make the profile brief so that we can actually have time to discuss. I don't know if I need to tell you who Tosi is, it will take me much time. It will take more of our time. But one thing I will just say a few things. I met Tosi sometime in 2019. I think when we went for induction for Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators of Nigeria, as fellows. That was the first contact. And I'm not sure I've met him more than once or twice after that time. We have kept in touch all through. And I've seen him transition from operations person to HR, from HR, is now a learning manager in one of the multinationals in Nigeria. One thing again is that, when this thing started, before this actually started, I called Tosi because me and Tosi have done a lot of things together, in the time past since we met. He's one person that we have kept touch. So I told him that this is what I have in mind. He said, go for it. So if Tosi had told me on that particular day and said, friend, forget about this, it might not work. Maybe he won't be here today. I am glad that he has found time to join us. He's a very busy person, I know. Tosi, for the past 1 week, he has been in Port Harcourt. We missed ourselves, with the last weekend. and as he's talking now, he's in Kano. So that's the kind of, so I really appreciate, him making out time to be able, because I know that's what he loves. Capacity development, empowering people, that's one of the things he loves doing. And I'm sure that's why, in spite of his tight schedules, he has found time to be here. To see, we're not taking this for granted. And I don't have doubts in what your ability to deliver. No, not at all, because I know it is your area. I'm sure we are ready for you. We are ready to learn as much as we can. And one good thing is that, Obi said he has not been a facility manager, but he has been an operations person that has managed, like I said, he has managed operations at different phases, and he's successful in what he's doing. Those I really appreciate you. We look like twins, but people would know that we have not seen more than 2 times, since 2019 that we met for the first time. Those is one person that has empowered me. Those is somebody that, from Tosi, I've learned that you don't necessarily need 20 people in your life. Only one person in your life can do a lot of change and transformation. Tosi, I'm glad to welcome you here. Part of the things, you supported that you start, there's actually the third section that we're having, and I'm glad you are here. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the floor. Thank you, Tosi, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Chinedu. Good evening, Hobby, and thank you for the beautiful introduction. Right? Please confirm you can hear me clearly. Please confirm. You can,
We can
right?
hear you.
We can hear you, yeah.
All right. So thank you so much. Chinedu, I want to sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for carrying on this vision of empowering people. It's a calling, I must say. And I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine today, and I told her that the person that invited me for this conversation is a very important person in my life. Normally, in fact, with my current situation, I'm not supposed to be having this type of conversation at this time. But because Chinedu is one person that I cannot say no to, and that's why I need to be here so that we can have conversations together, right? Bobby has done a very good job by introducing Oluwatosin Adeosun, right? What I'm passionate about doing, and I want to greet everyone on the call. For me, I believe that when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to seeking knowledge, it is only people who are very intentional about it. Those are the people that make our time to do it. If you are not intentional about growing yourself, you will always find excuses, the reason why it should not be done or the reason why you should not do it. So now you are here already. And for me, Chinedu knows I don't work with crowd. I love this number. Total, we are 17 at the moment. And let's get into the conversation, because what we're going to do tonight is majorly conversation. Now, leadership as a topic is a global topic. So there's no best approach to leadership. Leadership is situational. Leadership it's scenario based. So there is no globally acceptable definition of leadership. So meaning when it comes to defining leadership, if I ask you on this call, if I ask any of us on the call to define leadership, we're going to come up with different topics when it comes to, how you perceive leadership or how you define leadership. But I have been given a responsibility, to speak on a very interesting topic tonight, and which says leading for impact, building leadership skills that drives operational success. And when Obi was, speaking through my profile, she also mentioned that some of us on this call, we are currently, like maybe at an entry level we are professionals who are just starting up in facilities management. And the Chinedu also clarified that yes, Oluwatosin is not an FM expert, but I have a bit of understanding of what facilities management, what it is, because of course being in FMCG, and of course worked in production engineering, I understand a bit of concept around facility management. So in my presentation tonight, I'm going to be using some of your terminologies. I'm going to be borrowing some of your, professional terms. Forgive me if I did not say it well, but I tell you, I have a bit of what is happening in facilities management. So I'm going to share my screen. And please, I also want to plead that please let's make this session, let's make it interactive. It's not going to be a long session. I promise you, within 45 minutes, we should be done with this conversation and then leaving space for, question and answer. So it's not going to be, Tosin is only doing the talking. At interval, I'm going to stop and check whether we are doing this together, whether we are following. And please feel free to drop your question in the chat if you have any question. And of course, feel free to stop me if you need any clarification in the course of my presentation, right? So I want to share my screen now, and please confirm when you can see my screen. Is my screen off? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes, you can see.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into it. So in facilities management, operations are where strategies turn into action. So whether you are managing a corporate office, whether you are managing a hospital, whether you are managing a multi-site portfolio, your ability to lead daily operations impacts performance, it impacts cost and satisfaction. So I want to quickly ask, how many of us on this call currently have a team that you are leading? Do you have people reporting to you? Please, if you have, you can quickly unmute and say, yes, you have. If you don't, please, you can quickly unmute and let me know you have direct report. You don't have people reporting to you. How many of us on the call? Please?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Yes,
your name, sir?
Yes,
Your name, sir?
Obafemi is my name.
Yes,
Obafemi.
I have.
Okay, you too,
Obafemi.
you have. Obafemi, right?
Yes,
Hi,
sir.
Obafemi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many people are you currently
Yes, sir.
managing? How many people?
Currently, they are much close to 30 or so. But we have different departments. We have different vendors that report
Okay.
to me.
Okay. So, but I want to clarify something. Out of this 30 something, how many report to you directly that you are their manager? How many of them?
Okay. So I have 6 people. Yeah, six supervisors that report.
Thank you, Femi. Thank you. You have 6 people reporting to you. Great. Now, in your career, facilities management, I have colleagues who are into facilities management, and I know what they do for our organization. And I know how challenging it is for them to meet up with their deliverables on a daily basis. I know what it means for them to satisfy their customers. And I know how challenging it has been, to ensure that, yes, facilities are maintained, but it becomes a bit more complex when you don't even have direct report and you have to manage cross-functionally. You have to manage different customers, internal customers. You guys also work with vendor. You do a lot of conversations with vendor. I was having leadership conversations, a few weeks ago with some leaders within our organization, and it's centered around self-leadership and personal development. Now, I want to say to us on this call tonight, before you can lead anybody, leadership starts with self. Leadership starts with you holding yourself accountable. We are not hearing leadership for the first time. I am 100% sure that all of us on this call, today is not your first time that you are hearing leadership. If you are not hearing leadership regularly in your office, somehow your church is speaking about leadership. If you are not a Christian, somehow in the mosque, your afar, your imam, they speak about leadership. So today is not the first time you are hearing about leadership, but I want to emphasize something, guys. Before you can lead people effectively to deliver organizational set objectives or set goals, you must be able to hold yourself accountable. You must be able to lead yourself. Now, how do you lead yourself? You must have ability to manage your time and resources very well. You should be able to walk the talk on a personal level. When it comes to discipline, you must be disciplined before you can demand discipline from people. Now, if you look at the write-up on the screen, it says in facilities management, operations are where strategies turns into action. Now, in every organization, we have people that their job is majorly strategy formulation. They sit at a level within the organization to determine what is going to happen to every organization or to that particular organization. Their job is majorly thinking into the future. What is going to happen to this business in the next 5 years? Where do we want to be as a business? So they project into the next 10 years of the organization and they come up, they formulate a strategy that the organization is going to work with, right? But when it comes to facilities management, the operational side of it, which I want to believe that majority of us on this call, we are currently at the operation phase of facilities management. So meaning the expectation really for you is to turn strategy into action. And how do you do that? Like Obafemi, that you currently have 6 people reporting to you. It then tells you that, okay, when you receive strategy, when you receive vision, when the organization vision is communicated, maybe from your manager, maybe from your CEO, to you, then you are expected to formulate this and to translate it into action. So whether you are managing a corporate office, whether your own facility management, you are currently practicing it in an hospital, whether you are currently working in a multi-site portfolio, your ability to lead daily operation, will determine the kind of performance and the kind of result that you are going to deliver. Leading facility management operation is not about checklist or reacting to issues. It's not about being reactive. It is more about building systems that are proactive in their approach, of course, that are resilient and of course aligned with business goals. So you must ensure that whatever you are doing within your organization is in alignment with the goal of the organization. Who is your manager? What are the priorities of this organization? How do they want to run this organization? How can I keep this facility safe as a facility specialist or as a facility engineer or as a facility manager? Now, don't forget, we are talking about leadership qualities, how you can lead with impact. How do you want to create meaningful impact in your current role so that you, in a way, you're also creating visibility for yourself. In a way, you're also helping yourself to build next opportunity for you so that you can grow beyond your current role. We're talking about leading with impact, building necessary leadership skills that you need, to, of course, to perform excellently well in your current role, and at the same time to prepare yourself for, the future of what is currently happening in your organization. Now, I want us to do something I call my leadership story. And this is how I want us to do it. I want you to think of a time when you had to lead a team through a challenge in your facility management journey. Now, maybe you are on the call and your total experience in facilities management is just 1 year. Maybe it's just like 2 years. Maybe it's like 3 years, depending on your years of experience. I want you to read this. Think of a time when you had to lead a team through a challenge in your facility management journey. I want you to please quickly describe the situation. What action did you take as a leader? What was the outcome? What will you do differently next time? So that's what I want us to do now. And please, I need a volunteer who will help us to, take on this task. Thank you. Obi, can you still hear me? Chinedu, can you hear me?
Yes, we heard you, sir. We heard
Okay.
you.
Thank you. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for someone to please volunteer and share with us. Yes, I know it's a bit challenging in a virtual environment, to get people engaged, to get people, participate when it comes to virtual conversation. But
I think maybe they are still thinking. People are trying to come up or think of events in their operations that they'll share the story with us. So, okay.
so who is willing to go?
Okay, go ahead, Uduak. Uduak is speaking. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Tosin. So I will be brief. And my name is Oluwatosin. I'm also a facility manager.
Okay.
For now, I manage a team of 4. Most of the portfolio are outsourced. So, taking up the job role, I realized that I signed a contract that covers just me and an assistant who is also an officer for a 24/7 service organization.
Okay.
That's the demand of the position. So I was like, how is this gonna work? That's like a Sunday to Sunday activity, and it's day and night shift. So the norm, I'm not supposed to work night shift, just the officers, but it's gonna be a huge burden on my guy, and it's gonna tell on the job operations. So I have to step in to also do night shift, I have to do day, weekends, and all for almost a year plus. And with that, my immediate line manager, some issues were always coming up with respect to my assistant. And okay, now I'm okay. So issues were always coming up, and she felt that I'm always covering up for him, which is true.
Okay.
But I felt that it's just me and him in the team, so I wouldn't want anything to affect the team and just to cover up with operations. And that affected not me because of a bit more of experience, but he was not really experienced. That was when I realized that experience comes with not just years on the job, but also one that is thoroughly trained and has that mindset to develop herself. So those period I was really covering up for him, and eventually was laid off. Then I felt what should I have done in a way that yes, it was supposed to catch up with the system. And that was what I thought of, and what should I have done next time. And I realized I should have kind of bringing up to speed. And but at times when you keep pushing and there's no that response and also feedback. So, but there are other different ways to push your next person so that he would understand the system, and especially if it's a system that is politically influenced with growth and all that workplace productivity. So that was just the situation. And now I don't work on those shifts because I was putting for more officers, but it was like almost 2 years of turbulence, and I just had to take up a lot of crazy ones too. But then I was able to highlight some things I needed to do so that next time it will not be just me. try to cover up for the messes of others, but try to also build other leaders to within the team. And that was just it. So I said, let me just share this.
Good, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being vulnerable to share this, and thank you for taking the lead to actually do this for us. Now, I love the simplicity and how you express this clearly. And I want to believe that each and every one of us on this call, we are going to learn one or two things from this example. Uduak, there's something we call tolerating toxic behaviors. Can you hear me, Uduak? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please. Let me, yes, I can.
There's something we call tolerating toxic behaviors. As a leader, we need to be very careful, and we need to continue to grow our skills when it comes to leadership. So leadership is not something that it's a very complex business. To lead people, to manage people is a very, very challenging responsibility. But we have track record of leaders who have done this successfully, and they have been able to create meaningful impact. Now, when a leader starts tolerating toxic behaviors, or when a leader is not courageous enough to have some difficult conversations, it has repercussions. Now, if I have a new joiner, for example, and let me cite an example. I currently have a new joiner in my team. And this is an onboarding period. This is the period for me to support this person to really understand the business and to settle in the role. So I must do my job as a manager to ensure that this person is stable, to understand the business, and to be able to perform on her own. So there's this time that what I'll be doing more is to tell, is to show, is to demonstrate, oh, this is how we do things here. This is how to do it. These are the kind of people that you will be working with. This will be your focus as we are coming into this business. This, and this. It must be clearly stated. And when you communicate it clearly and you help your new joiner to settle in the role, there's also a point where you also need to demand accountability. You need to start demanding for result. So when you start covering, some laxity, when people are supposed to show up and they are not showing up, and you think, oh, if I address this issue, I don't know how this person will feel. If I talk to this person, I might hurt this person. And because of that, as a leader, you decide to start, bearing the burden. You start covering up. If you are not careful, even your own role is at risk, because the person managing you will also be seeing you as if like someone who is not strong enough to function in that role, right? So, and I love that you have been able to understand what you want to do differently when next you have the opportunity, maybe to onboard a new joiner or to guide someone who is new on a task, to say, okay, yes, I want to guide you. There's a place of showing them what to do. And of course, there's a place of coaching. There's a place of, helping people to understand what to do. But there's also a space where you need to give them room, give them necessary tools and support to perform. Now, if we are to go around on this call to say, okay, yes, we want to take each and every one of us to hear from you, your leadership story. And I know each and every one of us, we have different leadership story to say. We have challenges. If I'm to continue to talk to you about my leadership journey, I have different scenarios, different examples that I can cite on this call, maybe to inspire someone, maybe to motivate someone, maybe to encourage someone. So there is no one size fit all when it comes to leadership capabilities or leadership approach. It is scenario based, but you must understand when to apply, which particular leadership style at what point. When do I need to correct? When do I need to appreciate? When do I need to engage? When do I need to coach? When do I need to, encourage? When do I need to motivate? So your ability to be flexible, your ability to understand which leadership approach to use per time will determine your success as a leader. So now, if you're on the call this evening and you don't have a team that you are leading, do you want to also take a bit of time to reflect and to think about how you currently collaborate cross-functionally? If we are to survey your customers today, your stakeholders, what would they say about your approach when it comes to urgency, when it comes to quality of your delivery, when it comes to being right on time? How do you keep appointment? Of course, when it comes to deadline, how do you treat deadline? So are you someone that will commit a particular deadline, and after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you are not there to show up? So these are some of the things that you need to reflect upon as we continue this conversation. So please feel free to stop me. Thank you so much, Uduak, for your example. We won't be able to take more example, based on the limited time that we have this evening. So I want us to quickly look at how top facility managers, how they drive operational success. And I was able to come up with this information, doing a bit of research before this session, and to also check globally what is the best approach, best in class approach when it comes to leadership in facilities management. Because I understand that majority of us on this call, we are facility managers, and that is why this conversation is centered around you. So we are not looking at general leadership topics this time around. We are talking about how to lead effectively as a facility manager or as a facility specialist. The first one is you need to lead with purpose, not just process. Process is very important. Those numbers are very important. Your ability to execute is very important. Understanding the technicality of your job is very important. But are you leading with purpose? How purposeful are you? Great leaders shift toward purpose-driven operations. Now, I have also worked with leaders, and I've had the opportunity to also lead people at several points in my life. Now, I understand what it means when an organization or a team has a clear purpose, has a clear mission. When you have a clear vision, when you have a clear direction, it makes your job very easy to perform when the direction is known, when the direction is communicated clearly. So, if you are currently managing a team today, do you want to think about what is the purpose, general purpose of your organization? What is this organization trying to achieve? How can I and my team, how can I fit in? How can we fit in into the bigger picture of the organization? Of course, linking this to maintenance, linking into your service and compliance with outcomes like sustainability, like cost control or user satisfaction. I understand if I open this conversation, a lot of us will have a bit of insight into the sustainability aspect of your job. Of course, how to manage cost, setting budget, everything, you understand what it is. But as you are doing this, what is the leadership approach that you are bringing into it? Now, and I know that in your role, you collaborate with different functions within the organization to deliver your role. You work with different people. You work with different stakeholders. What is the impression you are currently creating? Now, in those rooms that you are not present, when it is time for performance conversations, what are people saying about you? What are they saying about your delivery? These are the areas that I want you to look at it. In the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, do you still want to remain a facility technician, a facility specialist? Or in the next 5 years, you, based on the picture you have and based on your way, the way you carry out your job, the way you carry out those deliverables today, maybe in the next 5 years, you already see yourself, heading like maybe a function as a facility manager or as a facility director. Who knows? So it depends on you, and you are the only one that can make it happen. Listen to the front line. This is very important. The most valuable insight doesn't come from the dashboard. It comes from people. So if you are currently leading people or you are not currently leading people, it is very important that you understand that you must satisfy your customer. Satisfy your customer. Customer satisfaction is very, very important. And that's what will form part of the review of your job when you are done delivering your job. So now, those insights did not come from only dashboard alone. It comes from people. People will say a lot about what you do. And that's why we need to be very intentional about how you show up in your workplace on a daily basis. How do you show up? Doing? Do you know what you are currently doing? Do you understand? What, in fact, when it comes to the organization that you are currently working with, the people that you work with, the people you support, what are they saying? Work the side. Ask your teams what is slowing them down. What are the challenges of your team? How can you support them? When you need to say thank you to them, you don't need to delay it. When you need to appreciate them, you need to show up and appreciate them. When you need to say thank you to them for a very good job that they are doing, you need to do that. You don't need to delay Thanksgiving. You don't need to delay appreciation. You don't need to delay engagement. When it is time to engage them, when it is time to say well done for that job that they are doing, are you doing that? Or you are a manager who takes pride in taking, glory of others to say, okay, yes, this particular innovation, I came up with it. Meanwhile, someone in your team actually came up with that idea. So how do you celebrate success? How do you celebrate others? People first, no matter how advanced your systems are. And now we are in a world where technology is advancing on a daily basis. So we are building systems. We are leveraging technology to do a lot. So I want to believe that even in facilities management, you guys are also leveraging technology to support every of your activity. So no matter how advanced your systems are, your people drive results. So you need to have it in your mind that these people that are working with me, how can I grow them? How can I help them develop? What are learning opportunities I can suggest to them? How can I hold their hands when it comes to, walking them through a particular task or a particular project? Empower them with knowledge is very important. And what Chinedu is doing now is, what I call giving back to society, because society has helped us, to also grow to this point that we are. And it is important that we also give back to the community. And that's what he's doing. This is pure CSR that Chinedu is doing by saying, okay, community of facility managers, please come together. Let's exchange ideas. Let's learn from each other. So I want you to take it away from this session tonight. If you are currently not doing so well when it comes to empowering your people, you need to reflect and think about what you want to do differently tonight, because those people, if you fail to grow them, it is going to speak about the results you will deliver. If you grow them also, it will help you to deliver more sustainable results. So empower them with knowledge, support them, and please ensure that you communicate clearly. Communicate priorities clearly in a language that your people will understand. So you need to also understand the kind of people you are managing. What is the level of their education? Are these people, learned? Are they people you need to be so professional with, or they are people that you need to break it down for them to understand? Setting clear priorities, because if it is not clear, people will struggle with implementation. So set it clearly and let them understand the direction you want them to go. When team feels ownership, performance follow. When your team understands what it is to own a process or to own a task, they understand they are not going to struggle with performance. Okay. So another one here is you need to simplify to scale. You need to clarity, understanding that clarity beats complexity. Leaders who build simple, consistent processes reduce confusion and improve results. Streamline systems, reduce downtime, and support growth. So, and if you are not very intentional about knowledge, it is going to be difficult for you to scale, right? To simplify processes. So we are talking about innovation here. We're talking about bringing up new idea, thinking about different ways of doing things. And you need to move from a fixed mindset to growth mindset, understanding that talent alone is not enough. You can be very talented. Oh, when it comes to facility management, this is my sweet spot. I love it. Yes, but you can still go further by investing in knowledge, by seeking better and higher knowledge that's going to empower you more when it comes to delivering sustainably, right? So, and track what matters. Eating every SLA doesn't mean your clients are happy. Focus on real metrics. And I want us to discuss first time fixed rate. How can someone please help us with this? First time fixed rate. What is this in facilities management? First time fixed rates. Somebody want to help me, right? You know, I'm not a facility manager. I'm an HR professional. Hello, are we still together? Chinedu, can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. We're definitely hearing you. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm asking a question. First time fixed rate. What is the explanation? Hello. Hello. I should wait one more minute, right?
Let Mr. Chinedu help us.
Okay. So, Mr. Chinedu, please help us.
It all depends on the perspective, and moreover, all of us are here now. Me too. I'm learning. My daughter is also close to me, so this one is not the issue of. I'm also learning a lot from what we have done. So depending on the perspective, that's actually what I'm actually trying to get at. But I might be able to, maybe if you can put more light to it, that will be able to help us to be able to speak to that, so that we don't come from our own point of view, so that we might be able to speak directly to your perspective. So maybe you might help us with that perspective, Tosin.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chinedu. Thank you so much. So now, in every department, we have our numbers, right? We have our KPIs that we set to achieve, right? And when I was also looking at some of your KPIs, your measures of your performance, right? So this first time fixed rate is one of it. And what this is actually speaking to majorly is that how well did we get it right at first time? You understand? Maybe when you are to, I want to use a practical example of facilities management that I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Let's assume that we have an executive a senior leader who is resuming in an organization, maybe an expatriate, for example, and we need to get this person an apartment and we need to set it up, right? So, and you have a picture of what this person wants, or this person is saying, oh, this is the picture that I want. This is how I want this my house to be set up. Now, the correctness, your ability to carry out that particular, picture, to put it in reality at the first time, and that is what this is actually speaking to as first time fixed rate, right? So when it comes to that, yes, you are trying to meet the SLA to deliver the number, but at the same time, understanding that you are not just executing, but you want to also execute with precision in a way that when you are done, when you carry out a survey or you ask for feedback from your customer, they are happy to give you, holistic feedback and to say, yes, we are happy with your service and we are willing to engage you next time. Now, planned versus reactive work. This is very simple and straightforward, right? You also need to check, focus on this. Now, those planned work, those reactive work, and majorly reactive work are those things that maybe in the process of utilization, those things go bad and you need to quickly fix it. But the ones that you plan, maybe there's a total refurbishment of a facility that you guys want to do. So talking about the planning and being reactive, occupant feedback, what are they saying about your service? What is the feedback that you are getting? Are they happy, with your delivery, or they are struggling to accept you? Utility trends also, and of course, use data. We encourage you to please use data to improve, not just to report. Understanding what it means to analyze your numbers, understanding, where data needs to come in collating your report, and ensuring that by the time you put all these things together, they are speaking to the job that you have done, and you're also positioning yourself within an organization for a better role or for a higher role. So, moving on, building operational resilience. This is also one of the key ways, of course, key approach that global leaders use when it comes to operational excellence in facilities management. From supply delays to power outages, the unexpected happens, right? Resilient operations are built through backup plans, cross-trained teams, and systems that can adapt very fast. And let me also say this, aside resilience in facilities management, resilience is one very critical skill, one special skill that we all must build. You must develop resilience. You must be resilient. It's globally, it's challenging now on a global scale. And this is not only Nigeria alone. It's not Nigerian specific. What is currently happening is a global challenge. So a lot of things, economy, are being affected globally. And this is posing a whole lot of challenge on people, on citizens, on global citizens. Let me put it that way. So now organizations are relying so much on your ability to adapt, on your ability to be resilient, on your ability to show up on a daily basis, on your ability to learn very fast. Organizations are relying on this. So if you are not resilient, you are going to, it's going to impact everything around you negatively. It will affect the quality of result you produce. It will affect your job. It will affect your decision-making process. So it is very important that you understand what it means to be resilient in your delivery, in your thinking, in your approach, in the way you take care of yourself also. Very important. So that you are able to balance life with work life and everything is going, as planned. All right. So the way you lead FM operation will shape how your organization performs and how people experience the places they work, they heal, and connect. True leadership in facilities management is often invisible. And I understand why it is like that, because you guys do more operations. You do more of execution. Let me put it that way. Oh, this is the picture that I want. This is what I want in this house. This is how I want this office to be set up. And you are more of, oh, yes, taking the vision, executing it. So it can be difficult to measure your level of leadership, right? People might struggle with it to really understand and to recognize that, yes, you are showing leadership every day. The impact of your leadership, if you are able to bring authentic leadership to work, the impact, it is going to be very, very notable. It is going to be everywhere, because as you are showing up with courage, as you are impacting your colleagues, your friends, your stakeholders within the organization, people are noticing and they are checking, they are seeing what you are doing, they are seeing how you are delivering. And then when it is time to now speak in those rooms that you are not present, people will be able to talk about you and they will be able to defend your case, because you have been very consistent in enhancing your leadership skills and in building, yourself. So it's a journey. You don't need to beat yourself so hard, too much. You just need to do a quick analysis of where you are at the moment. What are the things that you need to still learn about leadership? Do you need to read more about it? Do you need to read biographies of leaders who are successful when it comes to leadership? What are the approach? What is your current approach now that you are currently using? Do you know that some leaders, they find it very easy to be on top of their voice, to shout on people, to shut people down, to use abusive language on people? Yes. So you need to do a quick analysis of your current approach and then understand, what are you going to change? What am I bringing into, what am I adding to what I already have? And what are you deleting in terms of leadership approach, so that you can position yourself, for global opportunity. And I want you to scan through the organization you are currently working with. What are the possible opportunities within the organization? Do you want to continue to build your career in facilities management? Or you have it in mind at a point, maybe you want to venture into another thing? Because one thing that is very important these days is that people have, in fact, we live in a world where people have portfolio career. They have different skills in their portfolio. Yeah, so oh, this used to be a production manager, but now is a product manager. Or tomorrow, maybe it's in sales, it's in marketing. So the world is changing. So you don't need to restrict yourself. You don't need to limit yourself to a space. So that space is very, in fact, globally, opportunities abound. So it now depends on how you position yourself, how you open yourself up, to opportunity, and how you are leading yourself on a daily basis. Because when you are able to lead yourself, your problem is half solved. Because leadership starts with self. When you understand what it is to set priority, to meet deadline, to manage time, to manage yourself, to manage your resources, it will be easier to also manage whatever number of people that the organization attached to you. And I want to also say this as my final thoughts. If you are on the call and you currently have like 2, 3, 4, 5 people that you are currently leading, I want you to know today that in a way, the destiny of those guys that you are currently leading, in a way, their destiny is attached to you. So you have a lot to do in helping them become better and realize their goal, and of course, getting to their destination also. So I think this will be the end of our conversation, and I'm also checking time. It is 9 p.m. now. So I want to give room for question, for reflection, for comment before I hand over back to Hobby and Chinedu. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Oluwatosin. In fact, one of the things he said that I jotted down, I equally seconded it. He said the destiny of the people you are leading is attached to you. So whatever you are doing, you are somehow shaping their destiny and their career plan as well. So that is very, very key. And my jotter is actually filled up. I put down a whole lot of things. And another thing I equally picked, you said leadership starts with self. It starts with you being accountable. It starts with you being available. It starts with you managing your time. It starts with you being disciplined. It starts with you being courageous. So, I believe we are all leaders. If we are not leaders, we are aspiring leaders. Even those that are at the operational or tactical level are equally going to get to the strategic point, because in one way or the other, the work you are doing is helping to shape the strategy of your organization. And you equally say something. If you are carrying out your operations and it is not aligning with the vision of your organization, then you are not there yet. So, and another thing you said is that there is no one definition of leadership. You said a whole lot of things that somehow it was. I have a question I'm going to ask later. Somehow is actually pointing to every one of us in all the processes we are managing. There is something that is is impactful. You might not be seeing it, you might not know, but there are people that are actually gaining from what you are doing. Okay, so you're already a leader, whether I like it or not. From what Oluwatosin is saying, you're a leader. So if you are aligning your work with everything, leadership being about demanding, leadership don't cover up things like Uduak say. Leadership is not about allowing people to make mistakes and then you go and cover up so that if you look as if you are doing the right thing, it's about speaking up. That means you are doing something. I can see someone's hand. This is time for questions and answers. Let's have your concerns. It can equally be a something you are adding to what Oluwatosin said. It could be a personal experience that you'd like to quickly, briefly share and how you have learned from what he said. Since we have, I think he wants us to give us free time. He's a very, very, very busy person. So someone raised his hand. Please, if you are the one, you can speak up. I'm not seeing it from my own dashboard here. If you are the one that raised up your hand, please speak. Mr. Joseph, Obafemi, Akanji, Kende, please, you can talk. Olokoba, Adeinka. Adeinka, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Obi, for moderation. Good evening. I want to appreciate the convener, Mr. Shinedu, giving us this platform to share knowledge, and also our facilitator, Mr. Oluwatosin. Your lecture is very brief, concise, and impactful. I really appreciate you, sir. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. My takeaway from this lecture as a leader, you said something that's very, very key to me, that you must be flexible. Flexible in the sense that there's a need for you to appreciate your team. There's a time you need to coach them. There's a time you need to support them. There's a need to thank them. It's very, very key as a leader. And that is one of the takeaways from me from this lecture. Also, in furtherance of your lecture, you mentioned about the track that matters, and you itemized about 4 or 5, which is very, very key to a facility manager. First time, fixed rate. As a facility manager, it's always good to get it right. It increase your person, your performance. Also, you talk about plan and reactive. In fact, as a facility manager, there's no way you can do without approach. Plan and reactive. There are some things you need to plan ahead to be proactive. Also, in the course of operation, there's something you need to react by reactive, corrective. very key also. Talk about occupant feedback. This track that matter that you listed is very, very key to a aspiring successful facility manager, like what I wrote in the order of my book then. On this note, my question is, why FM is often invisible, but then they make impact everywhere? But it seems we don't really see their effort. But the truth is that they make impact. Why is it invisible? That's the question. Thank you, Mr. Tosin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adeyinka. Thank you so much. And your question is very valid. So for me, just like I mentioned during my delivery, I have colleagues who are into facilities management. I have worked with many, even at the plant location when I was in operation. I work with facility engineers. And currently, I work with facility managers. And what me I've seen is that sometimes facilities managers do a lot, but they don't, maybe how they also, talked about creating awareness about their job. Okay, so I'm doing a lot within an organization, but nobody is noticing. In fact, my manager, my direct manager, is not really getting the right feedback of my input, or is not aware, you understand, of what I'm doing. So sometimes we do a lot to execute a lot for the organization, but at the same time, are we visible to the right person? That person that is going to speak about you majorly, maybe that will present your profile when it is time for performance conversation. Are you making this person happy? Which is very important. And making them happy doesn't mean that you need to, go down low to go and be, behaving unprofessionally. But what I'm saying is that how are you managing your major stakeholders within the organization? So if they are to talk about you, what is their perception of you? I think this is very critical to your success as a facility manager. It is not about execution, because at a strategic level, at a level within the organization, leaders started focusing on your soft side, your soft skills. They don't really look at, because your job that they hire you for is to majorly do the technical job, to understand, what to do when it comes to facilities management. But what are the other soft skills aspect of your job? How are you balancing it? When it comes to emotional intelligence, how are you balancing it? When it comes to communication, reporting, maybe on time escalation of issues, how do you balance some of these things so that by the time they are making decisions about you, people can say, yes, when it comes to facilities management, we have a dependable candidate. So that's what I feel. And I think, Chinedu, also, you can also add one or two things to it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Oluwatosin. I think the summary of what you're saying is you equally being, hone your success, because I've seen where it happened. The little that you are doing, blow the trumpet. Honestly, just let everybody know, especially on the platform where those leaders, the decision makers are. Drop it there, because sometimes when they are discussing, you are not going to be there, but the work you have dropped there will speak for you. It has happened. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I can see Chipo's hand is up. Okay, let's hear from you, Chipo.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you to our host, Mr. Chinedu. Thank you, Obi, for moderating. And thank you, Mr. Oluwatosin, for your presentation. As a follow-up question to the answer you gave us on managing our stakeholders, I actually have a question regarding sometimes when there's not much support in terms of projects or critical things that facilities managers do in the major scheme of things. How do you perhaps manage better your managers, so to speak? I don't know if I'm clear.
Yes, you are. You are. Chipo, thank you so much for your question. Now, when you have limited resources, when you don't have enough support from your manager, in quote, how do you manage? And for me, this is where I'm going to approach this. I understand that some of these things, when we are analyzing it like this, it's very easy to analyze. It's very easy to talk about. It is very easy to say, okay, yes, we can do this, we can do that. But when it comes to implementing, when it comes to real life issues, it's a different ballgame. It's different from this conversation. Now, it is very important that objective is clearly set. What are we going to achieve? There should be conversation between you and your manager from the beginning. When you guys are working, when you are trying to align on a project. Now, when it comes to project execution, you might align on a different thing at the beginning, but maybe 2 months into the implementation of the project, there is limited resources. I expect my manager to communicate to me, to make me understand at that point that Oluwatosin, what we agreed that we are going to do is not going to happen again because there's a limited resources. So what I have seen that is one of the biggest gap when it comes to leadership is that I have seen leaders who find it difficult to communicate effectively to their direct report, to tell them, to give them real time, on-time update of what is happening. If I am not getting support as your manager from my own boss, it is expected that I should have a way of communicating it to you so that I don't leave you blank. You are also aware of what is happening. So this is why I'm not getting support, and this is why the project is not progressing. So I believe that from the side of your manager, there should be a clear communication of update of what is happening. Because he's the one going for management meeting, he's the one having top conversations with the executives. So he should be able to carry you along to come back and say, oh, Chipo, what we agreed 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, it is not going to happen again because this is what is happening. And then you will have a clear picture of what is happening. And then you are also you stay updated, yes, but your manager is also aware that. And one thing is, when the resources is available, your manager comes to you again and say, oh, we have resources now, I think we can proceed. So that's what I think we can do in such case. And I hope that answers your question, Chipo.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Good evening.
Okay.
Good evening. Okay, my name is Joseph. I actually aligned from the beginning of the leadership to where you, which I also communicate with how I work in my previous role. Like being mentioned earlier on that though in my own facility, previously I was working before, I wasn't having a team, but I was having, there are people that report to me, only let's say the gardener, the security, the cleaner. But it had an estate, which I just, like you mentioned, the stakeholders now, which I discussed with stakeholders that, oh, I would like to have an assistant so that the flexibility of the work will be much, then I don't need to put much of the burden on the other guys, which are not an operational person. Like you said, ever sometimes whereby there are issues that needs to be fixed, things need to be fixed. There's always been a delay in response, and sometimes I have to use my phone to fix a problem and later get a reform back, which it wasn't an encouraging aspect. So in terms of leadership, what I did was that for the work to be flexible for me, I was able to educate the cleaner, oh, water system, this is how it works. In case anything, do this, do that. If you are not able to clear, you leave it, then you let me know. Also the security and as well the generator aspect of it. I was able to educate them, teach them so that the workload can be reduced. And what I do most time as a leader is to, okay, guys, how you doing? Okay, take this, go and get lunch. Okay, take this, get mineral for yourself. Just a way of encouraging them. And it has been helpful for me over those years before I eventually leave. So my question goes thus: in a situation like this, whereby the stakeholders or the CEO in question is not also supporting the FM in ensuring that the work is done seamlessly just to reduce the burden, how can we or how can I communicate even though I end up getting a new role as a facility manager somewhere and maybe I encounter similar situation? How can I balance it to make it clearer? Because then I always say mail reminder, but it has not been effective because the stakeholder will see delay in operation, delay in responding to issue, and it's always been a stress and burden on my own part. So how can I sort out if I get another opportunity in another organization going forward? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you for your question. So now let me also say this quickly. Guys, it is challenging, very challenging to work in a one-man business. It's a very challenging space to find yourself to be. In a business where one man is the HR manager, is the accountant, is the head of procurement, is the head of finance, it is challenging. So sometimes want to run the organization. In fact, most of the time, they want you to run the organization the way they want it. It's because they are the sole decision maker. They take decision. They can decide whether to release fund for you or not to release fund for you. At that time, you are handicapped. You are not the owner of the business. You might write mail, you might communicate, but sometimes it is challenging because they are not even telling you. They won't come to you to come and tell you maybe the challenges that they are also facing, why they cannot release fund or why they cannot support with extra money, for example. So in a structured organization, in a very structured organization, we have people, the right people, the right size of people to carry out a particular job. But in a one-man business, it is very, very difficult before you can see a very standard structure of money to say, okay, this is the number of people that we're going to have that will do this. This is the number of people that we're going to have that will do this. So it is very challenging. So, but what I will encourage us to do is to also be very clear with our communication or with your demand. Sometimes, if you want to really have it black and white, do a documentation, write an email, make your own case and say, okay, this is what you want. In case the future, when a leader is coming up to say, oh, I didn't hear from you, you did not escalate when things are going wrong. So make your own request, follow up to ensure that, yes, you are following up to ensure that you get, the desired answer. But for me, I think at this point, it is left for the owner of the business to decide whether he is going to release fund to you or not to release fund, or whether to support with a request or not. Ensure that your job is done. That is what will be my advice on that. And I hope that answers your question, John. I think we still have two other guys I see Olaniwaju's hand up and I see Udoak hand up as well. So let's quickly do this. I think we are 1 hour, 20 minutes on the call already.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to go?
Yeah, my name is Oluwatosin Adeosun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
Yeah,
I hear you. Go ahead.
thank you to Mr. Oluwatosin for this wonderful presentation. I'd like to quickly add something, one or two things to the issue of a facility manager being not feasible. From my own understanding, based on in this field of facility management, I discovered that naturally by default, managers are not meant to be feasible by design, because from my own understanding and the way I've seen it so far so good, they are meant to support the core operation. Because now I'm in the aviation sector. Even in the aviation sector, I discovered that we are actually supporting the core operation, despite the fact that
Bobby, can you hear him? I stopped hearing him.
I can't hear you. Olariwaju, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
As I was saying, I said I'm actually in the aviation sector now. So despite the fact that in the aviation, we as the facility management department, we are very, very essential to the operation. We cannot afford to within the space of even 5 minutes. But despite this fact, we are just seen as the support to the core operation. And I believe that what facility managers can do to be feasible is just to ensure that you should not focus on your activities, your works, what you've done, but rather focus on analyzing what to be able to help the company to achieve in terms of saving costs or getting them to get more profit. That means that the facility manager should be able to, where you come up with, for instance, probably they are supposed to execute a project for 5 million and you've ended up doing that same project for 2 million. So you can come up with a detailed data, how you'll be able to use in-house workforce to, or probably you've come up with a strategy of PPM that maybe initially they spent 20 million in particular PPM tax, but now you are doing the same job within the space of maybe 6 months and you are using 10 million. So if a facility manager can come up with a detailed report, maybe quarterly or monthly or maybe twice in a year. So I think this can go a long way to make the facility managers to be feasible in all organizations, rather than just focusing on the task. I've done this, I've done that. No. And in conclusion, I also going focusing on sustainable activities or ideas or projects. This will also go a long way to make the facility manager feasible to decision makers or stakeholders in an organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oluwatosin. Thank you for lending your voice to this. For me, I couldn't agree more. So, what I want to quickly correct a little bit is that you mentioned something that by design, facilities managers are, maybe wired or designed not to be visible. I want to quickly correct that. So the thing is that your growth within every organization also depend on your level of visibility. So the question I want to leave in your mind is that how far can you go? What are you saying? Do you want to remain in operations or you want to move from operation to a more strategic aspect of facility management? I used to have a colleague then when I was in operation. He was a facility and utilities engineer, but today he's head of administration in one very big FMCG in Nigeria. He actually moved from our organization. He moved from production and then moved to KPMG. KPMG sent him abroad, and majorly what he was doing for them is pure administration. He moved away finally from engineering. So it depends on how far you want to go, and it depends on what you are saying for yourself. So yes, when you are there as an operational person, as an operational support, you are there to give necessary support. And just like you said, as you are doing it also, have a documentation, have data to show, the level of support that you are giving to organization. So I just want to add that to your comment. Thank you. Now, Uduak.
I really appreciate and the entire session, but I wanted to, I just had to stay hooked up. I have 3 questions, and it summarizes that change, that transitioning, which depends on the need in that particular organization. I observe, and I've also seen that you moved from engineering to human capital, human resources. What are the motives for that change? How could one achieve such feats? Because currently, I'm into facility, but corporate services and one of the key functions to that is competency in procurement and
So okay. I think I struggled a bit with getting your message, but I was able to hear you when you talked about, you noticed that I made the move from engineering to human resources. And maybe you are asking, if you want to make a move also, how can you go about it? Right, Obi? Is that the question?
But a move in procurement. Procurement. Well, I just want to just know the move.
Okay. Now, currently you are in facility management, but you are intending to move to procurement, right?
I just want to add it to my portfolio because of the growing need in my organization.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So for me, my movement, I can call it a very dynamic move, because it's very rare before you see an engineer, move to HR. So, but for me, for over the years, I have been very intentional about what I want. I have been very clear about what I want, and I've been channeling my resources, time, energy into nurturing myself, into preparing myself. Even while I was in operation then, I was doing more of HR certification, preparing myself for this space. So it wasn't so difficult when the opportunity came for me to make that move. It wasn't difficult, because when it comes to track record of what I've been doing personally, people were, it's something that is visible to everybody. So people can see that, yes, this guy has been doing this over the years, right? And he has been preparing himself for the opportunity. So what I would advise you to do, please, Uduak, is that if you are eyeing an opportunity in procurement and you are currently in facilities management, first, start by getting the required skills to perform in that role, to make that move when the opportunity comes. Get the required skills, get the required certification. If you can, with your current earning, if you can, please jump on it. But most importantly, I would recommend that you should get yourself a mentor, a very strong mentor, somebody who has good track record in procurement. Someone who can guide you into making that transition, so that you start to working with the person start prepping you, and of course, suggesting opportunities to you. So by so doing, you are growing yourself, you are preparing yourself for that opportunity. And when the opportunity comes, it will meet you ready. At that time, that's not the time that you will now be thinking of certification, because you already have 1 or 2 lead 2 certification. And at the same time, you have an advocate. It's very important that you have someone who is advocating for you, someone who is leading you, someone who is guiding you. And we need to be very intentional with that, because I also noticed that a whole lot of professionals, they don't understand when it comes to nurturing relationship, getting a mentor for yourself, and of course, balancing the when that relationship until relationship delivers something meaningful to you. So get yourself a mentor, start getting yourself ready when it comes to certification, getting the required knowledge, and please talk to an expert about it. And the beautiful thing about LinkedIn as a platform is that you can be very intentional about selecting your connection on LinkedIn. Now, you want to move to procurement. Start connecting with professionals in procurement on LinkedIn. When you have an opportunity to do that, when they accept your connection request, drop them a note. Appreciate them that, oh, thank you for this connection request, and then speak a bit about what you are currently doing, some of the things that you need to do to get yourself prepared for this phase. And for me, I want to wish you success already, right? That your journey, your switching, to procurement is going to be very smooth. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
very much, boss.
All right.
Thank you, Udua. Thank you, Oluwatosin, and every other person that made contributions to this session. And thank you, Oluwatosin, and thank you so much. Mr. Chinedu, you have your own question. Chinedu, go ahead.
I told you too that me too. I was jotting, and I need to ask a question. From all that he said, telling us how those that you're leading, how they are, whether they are, how they are dependent on you in terms of their destiny. He also talked about a lot in terms of ensuring, listening to them, all the things that you need to do about them, how you need to empower them to make your work easy. Now, the question, what was happening in my mind is that, you will lead adults, just like, what's it called, Udak is saying now. He wants to make, maybe in his mind, he wants to make a career change. You're leading people with different mindset, different thoughts, different intentions, different background, and the rest of them. Now, sometimes you have good plans. Sometimes you're pushing. Sometimes you want them to learn, but you find out that it's as if the one you're talking to them is not even what they are saying. As a leader, sometimes you're like, I beg, let this people carry their one. John, let you face. After all, everybody's collecting their own salary. You get? So,
yeah,
as a leader, what do you do when you see that you're trying to empower people, you're trying to push them, you're trying to carry them along, you're trying to get them, do things better the way you think should be the best for them, but you're not getting that, that response. You're not getting that positive body language from them. What are you supposed to do as a leader?
Okay, thank you, Chinedu. Great question, right? Now, let me quickly answer your question this way. One thing that you need to focus on, Chinedu, is to create an enabling environment for everybody you are leading. If you are leading a team of 10, for example, ensure that those 10, you create an opportunity, an enabling environment for 10 of them to perform. Now, let me say this. It is not everybody that would desire to grow in your team. It's not everybody. You will do a lot. In fact, you are going to roll out programs. You will bring up ideas. But I tell you, it is not everybody that will embrace those things that you are bringing to the table. But for you to be sure that you have done your job, that your job is done as a leader, ensure that you create equal opportunity for these people to perform. Give them an opportunity to grow. Create learning support for them and encourage them to leverage it. And I want you to please take an example from the government, for example. Our president is not policing everybody now. He's not policing everybody. The thing is that he's there to make some strategic decision for the organization. But at the same time, you cannot force people. In fact, from the learning perspective, you can't force people to learn. You can only encourage people to learn. So you can, your job is to, as a leader, is to make that environment comfortable for people to grow, comfortable for people to perform, and you are very intentional about growing all of them. And one thing that we need to be very careful with it. This is one big trap that leaders fall into very easily. When tribalism, when favoritism set in, when you are leading a team of 10 and you have 2 Yoruba, you have 4 Igbos, you have 2 Hausas, and you are an Igbo man, Chinedu. And for me, since I've been having conversation around leadership, there's something I also know, that we are wired to be tribal as human. Let me explain that. We are wired to be biased as human. Let me explain it. The thing is, I'm from Osun State. I'm a Yoruba man. If I work in an organization, for example, and someone is from my village, and maybe we meet each other at a point within the organization, and I introduce myself to this person. This person says, "Ah, wow, I'm from Osun State. Ah, I'm from your village. Ah." The next question is to be asking that person, where exactly are you from? So. And if you are not careful, if you have those people in your team that you are managing, you can fall into that trap of being tribal, of having favorites within your team. And then it's not going to be very difficult for you to really balance it. So I know it is challenging, because when you are doing a lot to bring people up, there are some that they will tell you, okay, I don't have interest in growth. I don't want to grow. I don't want, what I'm doing now is what I want to do, because I have experienced that in my journey. So it's not everybody that will grow at the same pace, but ensure that you are not shortchanging people. Ensure that you are not denying people opportunity for growth. Ensure that you are not denying people opportunity for advancement and for development. Ensure that you do all, you cross the T's, everything that you need to do to ensure that your people enjoy authentic leadership from you. And then whoever that now decide not to embrace that opportunity, it is left to them. So that's what I'm going to advise, using your question. And I hope that answers your question, Chinedu.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was it. That was it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Hobby, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think my own question, you have answered it with all the explanations and other people's comments and contributions. So thank you. I also jotted down things, topics that we'll be treating on this platform. I'll share them with Chinedu, and I know we are going to call you again. So I think we are rounding up. I'll be inviting Chipo to give us like a summary talk. After Chipo, then Adeyika is going to give us a closing remark. Chipo, I think the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Obi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwatosin. Your presentation was so comprehensive, yet concise. I think what I managed to get as a summary was intentionality in terms of seeking knowledge. I think for me that was key, because it then pointed to continuous improvement, continuous development, continuous learning. I think one of the other key issues that you mentioned was about building purpose-driven systems. I think as FMs who are seeking to drive operational success and excellence in the outcomes that we have made targets for, having a purpose to what we do, whether it's sustainability, whether it's cost containment, which also speaks to the organizational strategy, is actually very key. We also gleaned on the issues to do with self-development, especially on how you manage self in terms of time management, resource management, And it also speaks again to your purpose, your why. Why, as an FM, are you doing what you do in the organization that you're in? And also, there was a lot of buttressing on the issue of intentionality. There has to be a clarity of intention, which helps us and enables us to beat complexity. Because at the end of the day, what we want is results, what we want is performance, what we want is visibility. We also want our works to be displayed where everyone can see them, where customers are satisfied, whether it's internal customers within the organization or it's our external stakeholders. Clarity also for me speaks to the sharpening of our service delivery outcomes. And I think lastly, what I really gleaned on as well was most times as FMs, we do our reports and we track metrics as aligned to our SLAs, as aligned to our executives' expectations. But I really liked the aspect that we learned today, that we ought to track real metrics, not just for reporting, but for improvement, so that we continue to refine our skill sets. We continue to notice, look at the gaps and seek ways to close those gaps and do better by our teams and be able to also manage the wider stakeholder fraternity. Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwatosin. That's it from me.
Thank you, Chipo. Thank you. Great summary.
Thank you. Yes, I'll actually say that. Great summary. Thank you, Chipo. And then let's invite Adenka for the closing remark.
Obi, this is unexpected tax. As you can see, I'm in the saloon, but nevertheless, I will say something. On closing remark, on behalf of the convener, the members of this team, we want to sincerely appreciate Mr. Oluwatosin for sharing your wealth of knowledge to us. It has been impactful, wonderful experience. We want to say big thank you to you. And at the same time, I want to appreciate everybody present on this meeting. I say thank you and God bless. Bobby, thank you for your moderation. I want to say big thank you to you as well. Have a wonderful week, a wonderful rest. Say thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Chinedu, for this wonderful platform. Thank you, Oluwatosin. Thank you. And I'm wishing all of us a wonderful new month. We'll soon enter the Ember month. So I pray it's going to be a great month and we are going to end the year very well. Thank you, everybody. Mr. Chinedu, you can be saying something while we are all logging out. So
thank you, Tosi. Thank you. Tosi, I'm going to drop your LinkedIn contact so that as many that are here can continue to connect with you. Thank you for making out this time. I know we have taken your time. Please forgive me. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you now and always. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
thank you. Bye-bye.